It ain't nothing.
You must be dedicated.
I wonder, like in one of those experiments, if I could just put on 13 pounds
What do you mean?
in like a week or something like that.
For what purpose?
Well, I like to try new things.
And that's 3 minutes gone.
Hello, and welcome to the Village Idiom.
My name is Jurassic Mark, and I am standing here with the very lovely...
I am fantastically skinny today.
Yes, you are.
I'm down 13 pounds.
Are you? That's wicked.
Yeah.
That's like
I know.
legit results.
Well, getting somewhere. I'm feeling it, though. I'm at that part of just like...
Well, you don't look 350.
That's 350.
350. You don't look 350.
No, yeah. So 13, be slogging away. If I could just do 1 pound a week...
I think that's...
For 300 weeks, then that would just be amazing.
Be the goal weight. Wait, you'd be 50 pounds. That's not a goal weight.
Negative 50. He's not even ashen bone. You know what? He's looking a little gaunt.
Just a little bit. Are you breathing? Get a mirror. Put it under his nose. Well, good for you though. 13. That's good. That's going pretty quick.
It ain't nothing.
You must be dedicated.
I wonder, like in one of those experiments, if I could just put on 13 pounds
What do you mean?
in like a week or something like that.
For what purpose?
Well, I like to try new things. Actually, I've tried to do that already. I did.
Can you do it?
I did a 7 pound. I did a 7 pound week once when I went on a cruise.
Yeah.
And then I just sat around and ate like. Yeah.
You're supposed to put on 7 pounds.
I don't know. I actually it was
See,
like
it takes a week to lose a
felt-
pound. It takes a day to gain a pound.
teach a man to gain a pound. I don't know where that
Give
goes.
him a pound. Well, I had this is unrelated, but this week I have an older Honda Civic
Yeah.
and I've been receiving recall letters from them.
How old is
for
this Honda Civic?
It's an 04.
Yeah.
And so there's been a recall on the passenger and driver's side airbags.
Oh.
And I've been receiving these letters for, I kid you not, I think it's been 3 years. And I'm like,
It's time to come in, Mr. Batten, and
like,
service
what
your Honda.
am I waiting for? This is a free repair. And so the reason I finally did it is one of my sons is back from travel and is going to get his license, and it's got an airbag notification on the dashboard, which of course he can't drive it.
That's right.
At least not on the
will explode.
not on the test. So I just, you know what I did? I bit the bullet.
Oh, of course you did.
And I took it in. And I'm like, after you get it done, I'm like, what have I been waiting for?
Isn't inside one of those airbags the equivalent of like an explosive cap, like a bullet?
Well, it turns out they explained why it's been recalled. It actually it's not necessary to recall it here because it was a temperature related thing. So like way down south where it gets crazy hot temperatures.
They just blow up?
No, like if it does come into use, it comes out like a cannonball.
Oh,
And so it builds up an extra layer of pressure.
that can't feel good.
So here, supposedly, it's not even really that big of a deal.
Doink, punch in the face.
Here's the sad news.
Yeah.
Is my airbag light is still on. Turns out that it's not the airbag that was the problem, even though I got that replaced.
Right.
It's my seatbelt. So I'm back in tomorrow.
Either way.
Either way.
I had something new, we talk about like liking to try new things and experience new things. I had one of those Bite.The.Bullet. I've been wanting to make cheese.
Okay.
And I'm like, put it off. This is never going to work. This is never going to work. I'm not just cutting cheese. I wanted to like cook up some cheese.
It's a good thing that this podcast is not smell-o-vision because you definitely know cutting the cheese.
Yes. And so I'm like, this is me. We put it off. You put it off. I'm like, why? I love doing new stuff. And this week was the Bite.The.Bullet. I'm going to make cheese. And so on Sunday, this past week, I just hunkered down, got out some YouTubes, and went through the YouTubes one by one.
No way.
By one.
Did you make cheese?
And I made cheese on Sunday.
Did you bring some?
No.
Oh.
No, but
Because
I'm going to go for it now. Now I'm like, I can do this.
You can do this.
Yeah. So I'm before this year is done, you will be hearing about me making like cheddar or something.
Excellent.
Yeah, and I of course will bring some in. I was thinking actually about doing it for like maybe a Christmassy type gift because it needs a few months to sharpen.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was thinking about maybe doing it in the summer. And
Well, here's a terrible, possibly inappropriate detail to put on the topic of making your own cheese.
Okay.
Read an article about making cheese, and you can make cheese out of the milk of almost every animal except human. You can't make cheese.
What? Who tried that?
I don't know. It was in like a magazine.
It reminds me of like the Meet the Fockers with like, I have nipples, Greg. Can you milk me?
Anyway, apparently it's an impossibility. You can't make cheese out of human breast milk. Why do they always say breast milk? Like, where else is the milk coming from?
I don't know. What are
just
you
say,
searching
you
on the internet?
You can just say milk, right? You don't have to say breast milk.
Right?
People just like to use the word.
Oh, it's from your armpit.
Armpit milk. Arm milk.
Armpit milk. Ew. You can't make cheese out of it, but it can look like
Sometimes
there's cheese after
it
you've
looks
been
like there's
using like
armpit
the
Wow.
antiperspirant one. It's like
you would almost have no idea what today's episode is called, other than our, by the way, both misuses of the phrase "bite the bullet."
Gotta bite the bullet. Sometimes you gotta do it.
Yeah,
You just
but
gotta get it
usually
done.
the correct usage of "bite the bullet" is when you have to accept an inevitable task that may result in hardship, whatever it is, which taking my car in, it's not really any negativity
Well,
that.
but if something goes wrong with your airbag, that would have been unfortunate.
Right.
Yeah, so
But still.
you could actually bite a bullet or whatever compression capsule is in that thing. I guess if it goes, depending on what the recall is for.
Yeah, who knows?
We put them in backwards, and it's just going to shoot your disc, that plastic disc,
covers
straight
it.
into your face.
Here, so we both used it wrong because neither of it was biting the bullet to make cheese. You weren't really suffering at all to decide.
No, but this idea of like, you put something off, and you're just like, I'm going to bite the bullet and do it.
Yeah, exactly. That's basically the point of it, but we could have had better examples.
Weird.
I used to actually think it was wrong anyway. I used to think when you bite the bullet is like you meet death. That's what I thought it meant. I think that's how I used to use it.
Well,
so and so they got in a major car accident. They bit the bullet. It's wrong.
Yeah. That one's wrong.
Yeah.
Unless like they've been putting off being in a car accident for a while, and they're finally today's the day. I'm gonna do it. You know what? I put this off way too long. I'm gonna bite the bullet today.
Yes,
and get in a major car wreck.
Nope. That is the incorrect usage of bite the bullet.
Well, but there is the possibility of some teeth clench in the bite the bullet.
What do you mean?
Well, when I was looking up in some of the origin type stories, that a way to like alleviate if pain was going to be coming onto you before, like maybe a leather strap in the mouth.
Oh yeah.
As like a non-anesthetic situation was this bite the bullet. Someone had suggested that maybe this was the appropriate usage of just clench down on
the
this.
original origins of it. Yeah,
biting the bullet.
Yeah,
that doesn't seem very friendly on the chompers. Though.
I came across similar things when we get into again the dirty nerdy details of the origin of this phrase or this idiom. But I'm going to challenge you right out of the gate here before we dig deeper.
Yes.
But so grab your headphones.
Oh, here we go. That challenge. Here we go.
And this one, if you guess anything about this, I'll be amazed. But I'm playing it anyway because I stumbled across it and I now want to go watch this movie. So I've never seen this movie.
Okay.
It's 1975. And I'm going to play you two segments. First, I'm going to play the part that has the two stars actually speaking. Okay. So if there's and both of these stars are still stars today.
Okay.
So if that helps, here's the first part of this.
60 letters to the editor asking why is a woman in a race.
Written by men.
I came 5,000 miles to win this race. Why? You beat the best.
Did you recognize anybody's names?
I don't have a clue what's going on, but I love the cadence of that era. I came
Totally.
5,000 miles to...
That's right. So this movie, so the actors that spoke in that, there's a couple extras too, but it was Gene Hackman and Candice Bergen.
Okay.
Both of them are in it.
Right.
And from the trailer I stumbled across.
Moonlighting Candice? Or?
No, that's Sybil Shepherd.
Yeah, that's Sybil Shepherd.
But Candice Bergen is still a famous actress.
She was the one she was like the boss and always firing her
That's
secretary.
Tony Danza.
Nice. That's what I meant. With Tony with an I.
Tony with an I. Tony. So the reason I'm playing this one is because this is a 1975 Western movie called Bite.The.Bullet.
Oh, wow.
And
there's a movie called Bite.The.Bullet.
And not only that, I watched the trailer because I came across it. We're researching Bite.The.Bullet, and this movie looks awesome.
You have to get out.
Exactly, reel to reel. But it to me, it reminds me of like if the Cannonball Run happened in the Old West.
Okay.
So it's that kind of race.
That's funny.
Yeah, it looks great.
That's a funny idea.
It's a 1975. So here's the second half. This is how trailers used to be made and probably still should be made.
Written and directed by Richard Brooks. Starring Gene Hackman, Candice Bergen, James Coburn, Ben Johnson, Jan Michael Vincent, and Ian Bannon. Bite.The.Bullet. The Great American Adventure.
Is that great?
That is pretty funny.
That's just the best.
And Ben Johnson, I thought he was like an Olympian.
Canadian Olympian.
Yeah.
Same guy.
Same. He's been
Same guy.
running for years.
He was.
He just got faster.
He was 6 months old during the filming of this.
They knew he was going to be big.
I didn't think you'd guess that. I thought I'd throw it out there.
There's no way.
If you maybe could have pulled Gene Hackman out of there because he's kind of got that growly voice, but I appreciate you making any effort at all and playing along with me. So we're going to make this simpler. We're going to fast forward to, let's do this one. Let's do this 2011 movie that I guarantee you have seen.
Okay.
I promise you've seen. I think I saw it with you, actually.
Okay.
So
That'd be the best way to guarantee I saw it.
And some are clearly just way too long to
wait
make
a
it to
second.
air.
That
But
is
one
still
season
the
6
other,
deleted scene was
part of old-fashioned trailers playing in the background, so we'll just remove that. Here we go. So this movie you have seen. I'm looking for any hint that you know what it is.
Or you can just bite the proverbial bullet, as it were.
No, I'm going to need that one more time.
Okay, listen closely.
The people listening to this are going to need this one more time.
Yeah, no. Thanks for letting it hang for their sake.
Or you can just bite the proverbial bullet, as it were.
That sounds like Johnny Depp in like one of the Pirates.
You got it.
Is it?
That's Johnny Depp. Or you can bite the proverbial bullet, as it were, and that is, which one is it? That Captain Jack Sparrow, of course, on Stranger Tides.
Because they would give him the one bullet on the island when they put him out on the island. And so biting the bullet is what you're saying. Bite the bullet, as it were, is actually
I found the clip. I wasn't even thinking what scene was actually taking place.
When you got left off on the island, you were given a gun with one bullet.
If I could have lengthened that clip, I think you would have got it much easier because that's a pretty distinguished character that he's playing.
There's something about the way he said it that I got it in that second one.
Okay, this one is 2010 series. And
Space Odyssey.
And I don't know if you've seen this. This will be my hint for you. I watched it because my wife was watching it. And I'm like,
Your girlfriend? What did you say? Who'd you see it with?
What?
You say you saw it with your girlfriend?
What?
Did you just say that you saw this movie with your girlfriend?
What? Let's just bite the bullet and play this clip.
Okay.
I'll have to bite the bullet and put him up at the pub.
I'm going to bite the bullet and put him up at the pub.
I'll have to bite the bullet and put him up at the pub.
It sounds like Liam Neeson.
It's not Liam Neeson.
Sounds like him, though.
Is he in any series, TV series? Liam Neeson?
No, is there a series about just like recklessly killing people?
That would be it.
That would be it. Is he in 24?
Well, hear it one more time? That'll be it.
Oh, man,
I'll
yeah.
have to bite the bullet and put him up at the pub.
I have no idea who that is.
All right. That is, of course, from the series Downton Abbey. Did you watch that?
Oh, my wife watched that, and I watched it from the side, in and out, in and out.
Yeah. Mr. Carson, the head butler
guy, yeah.
So I
There
thought
you go.
maybe his voice alone.
No, of course, when you say it, then you can match it up.
Then I'll have to bite the bullet and put him up at the pub.
Oh, yeah, no, that was some good stuff.
There you go. There
Very
is our
nice.
sound
Thank
bites
you.
for the week, and we kind of jumped out of order than what we normally do. Started getting into the origins, but you know what we didn't get is we didn't get anybody submitting in this past week. It's been a full week where we said, "Can you please submit your version of our phenomenal origin song?"
We want to hear some. If you have a during that moment where we would sing Origins. We want to hear your video recorded version.
The whole world wants to, or more or less, they want us to stop going, Origins.
Origins. We want you to do the Origins beginning. Film
Get
it in
creative.
whatever way you see fit, and
Yep.
we will include that in the end product for the following week. So yeah, drop that on any of the social media things, the YouTube, Instagram, all the rest of that.
Perfect.
We would love to see it.
So Origins, you've already brought up. It goes back to like the 1700s. The military version of the Origins, like
Okay.
so before anesthesia.
That's one of the stepsisters for
Anesthetics
Cinderella.
was invented, doctors performing surgery, they would
She was the sleepy stepsister. She was anesthesia. Cinderella.
they'd bite on a piece of leather, piece of wood, whatever.
Right.
And so out on the field, they say they might have had no choice out on the battlefield. That's the word I'm looking for. Battlefield, to just bite a bullet because the metal was soft. And I guess biting a bullet in order for them to do surgery on the spot. I guess you're not really thinking about possible lead poisoning.
Is this made of? We shouldn't have made those bullets out of mercury.
What were we thinking? There's one funny one that came up. I don't know if you came across. Did you come across that wooden sticks can be known as billets?
No.
So that there's a theory that Bite.The.Bullet came from that. So same thing, military surgery on the field, and they might have given him a piece of wood and said Bite.The.Bullet.
Interesting.
But there's no
like when someone puts you over at their house when you're in like some sort of soccer club and you stay at some
if
place,
they stay too long, you bite the billet.
You bit the bullet.
Get rid of
You're
them.
not allowed at their house
You've
anymore. after
overstayed your welcome.
You bit the
you
bullet.
might get bit.
You bit the bullet. Bit the bullet. Bolt the billet.
Or you train your dog.
True story, a billeting story. Actual factual. We billeted for some youth group thing at some point, and I was put in a room where they kept a fish tank, except it was a tarantula.
Oh.
Yeah. Full out.
Okay.
There's a tarantula in the room. I couldn't see it as
And
I
you
fell
were the
asleep,
billet.
and I was the billet.
Does this tarantula bite you?
No,
Because
but
that would
you
be
ever...
Bite.The.Bullet.
No,
The
that would have been a
tarantula.
good joke. No, I didn't see this whole billet thing coming because that would have totally been. But no, I was actually put in a room with a tarantula. I was not bit, but I was a billet. Yeah,
But you were not bit.
I just wouldn't do that to somebody.
So there's no literature that backs up that that's a possible origin, but it is a theory out
I did
there.
come across one thing for the possible poor man's crown.
What?
Yes. So the idea behind it was that to use a bullet.
Yeah.
And to remove the slug and the gunpowder and make sure that the cap had gone off, and then file it down to go over top of a tooth that was broken and the nerve was exposed.
No.
So I came across this thing. I know it sounds made up, but yeah, I came across. So the biting of the bullet
Was to put
was
it in place.
No, was it like a crown instead of, because not having dental crown.
Right. Might as
just
well use
make
this
your
shell
own-
or not shell casing, but the actual bullet.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be lead?
It's I don't know. Maybe they just didn't know.
Oh, yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, maybe that's
Interesting.
yeah. So it was like an actual crown.
I did not come across that. I came across like 4 or 5 different things. They think it's a lot. You know what? The most frequently cited origin is the American Civil War, but with the same reason we're talking about, but they already had chloroform, so they're like, that can't be it. So you can see these people digging, trying to find this out. And of course, there's like 1796. It's already in literature where it says, what was it? Rudyard Kipling in 1891 said this. In The Light That Failed, he said, "Bite on the bullet, old man, and don't let them think you're afraid." So
Like
that
Rudyard
is
Kipling, as in the Jungle Book. Rudyard
yeah.
Kipling.
So that was the
He
second.
did more than the Jungle Book.
You learn something every week on the Village Idiom.
I can't believe that. I for sure thought that was his only thing that he ever did with his whole life.
Yeah.
But still something, because that was the Jungle
Bite.The.Bullet
Book.
isn't in the Jungle Book, as far as I know.
Oh my goodness.
So yeah, it's all military reference thing, but it was. There was one, 1796, Dictionary of the Vulgar Tongue by Francis Gross. I told you, dirty,
This
nerdy.
sounds made up.
So nerdy.
Francis Gross. Are you leading in on a joke right now?
No, this is
Francis Gross and with the vile
he said
book.
that he said in there that the infractions with a whip would so if you're being punished by a whip, you would bite on a bullet so that you would not show weakness by crying out in pain. So that goes back to late 1700s.
Wouldn't you just cry out in pain right away, just so that they would lighten up
is
on
a
you?
bullet is a bullet going to stop you from crying out? And just clench your teeth. You can still cry out.
It's not going to help.
No, you just have bullet teeth now.
Like
so those are the origins.
Like Jaws from...
Again, we had 2 weeks in a row where the origins are super unclear. Like
Yeah.
there's 3, 4, 5, 6 possible origins of these things. So, and we're not clearing it up at all.
So basically, you are no smarter.
You're no smarter, but we
From
hope
your
we
time with
made
us
it
today.
fun.
So I do have a little something in that same kind of Civil War era. So Abraham Lincoln was in a debate with the South, and him saying, "All men," I make him sound like some Martin Luther King. So all men are created equal, and we ought to abolish slavery. I need a Civil War. Help me. Give me a Civil
you
War.
Just start with 40
Okay.
and 20 years ago. It's not 20. 40.
7 and 7 years ago, all men were created equal, and we ought to abolish slavery. Mr. Lincoln. So okay, I'll do. You know what? I'll, in order to get the other voice,
Yeah.
I'm going to use the word "sir" a lot.
Okay.
Okay. All men were created equal, and we ought to abolish slavery. Mr. Lincoln, sir. I respectfully disagree, sir. It is the constitutional right of the South
I picture Yosemite Sam right now.
to have a slave, you ornery rabbit. Abraham Lincoln declared passionately, all men ought to be free. Sorry, Martin Luther King Jr. I'm a bad person. And I intend to make the 13th Amendment to our Constitution to reflect this truth. Sir, Mr. Lincoln, sir, I urge you, sir, to put aside your conviction. Nothing less will do, Mr. Lincoln. You will bite the bullet on this issue of slavery, sir. Abraham Lincoln said, would you ask me to do that? You would ask me to even do this? Utterly blows my mind. Good day to you, sir.
Is
And
that
then
real?
he kicks him in the groin.
I thought you were building up a joke, but you're actually quoting.
No, this never happened.
I'm so confused.
So the premise of this joke is that Abraham Lincoln
not following
is
it all.
actually biting a bullet,
Okay.
and that I went with the abolition of slavery
Yeah.
and all the rest of that. That to do so would blow his mind because he got
He bit the bullet.
You would bite the bullet on
'cause
this,
it would blow
sir.
his mind.
I know. And so I
Yeah.
was trying to work in an assassination.
Oh man. Okay. Wow. Now I'm with you. I'm like, joke? No, not joke. He's reading history right now.
I was
Oh,
trying.
man. Okay,
I was
so-
trying to word it in such a way that gave it more credibility.
I have so much material, and we're running out of time. But I
What?
can't help but tell you this personal story.
Oh, yeah,
When
yeah.
I was like 8, me and some friends were in our back alley, and we started just digging in the dirt, and we uncovered a whole, like probably 100 bullets
What?
in the dirt. And so
In real life?
in real life, this is not
Are
a
you
joke.
like born in Sarajevo?
And so we no, it's weird, right? So we collected all these bullets, and you probably did this when you were a kid with firecrackers. You break the firecrackers open, pour out all the gunpowder, whatever
Yep.
it is, and then light the little pile of. So we're like, let's do that with whatever's inside bullets.
Oh no!
So how do you open a bullet? Let's just
Fires.
hit him with rocks.
No, you didn't.
So we're in the back alley on pavement with real bullets and rocks, and going bang, 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 and we couldn't break them open. And so we had this little box. We put them in. We go in the house for lunch, and my mom's like, "Here you go, soup and sandwiches." We're like, "Look what we found!" And we've got all these dented real bullets. And she loses
That
her
is
mind.
terrifying
of course.
story.
Yeah, we could have like.
You guys were probably trying to bust the back ends off.
Yeah.
When it's the front end that comes off.
Right. Well, we just wanted to separate it.
Yeah,
but
but
we're
the
hitting the back end where the
You
hammer of the
separate
gun would have
front
been
out, but a
hitting.
kid would go, "Oh, this is the back was where the gunpowder is."
Yeah.
Or whatever you want.
Anyway, we didn't blow up anything. We never got
guys
them
are
open.
so lucky.
They were confiscated. all of that. Okay, here's my non-Abraham Lincoln related joke. In case anybody's wondering why our jokes are so terrible, we write these ourselves.
Absolutely.
And I apologize.
It's so hard to write a joke
because my jokes come in the form of stories.
Fosco!
There were two columnists who worked for the same newspaper. They both submitted articles about the same local tragedy. The editor called them to address this situation. He said, "You both handed in columns regarding the apartment building fire on 8th Street. The only problem is that, Bill, you said it was arson. John, you said it was faulty wiring." They both perked up, but John spoke first. He said, "I have it on good authority that the wiring in that old building started the fire." Bill replied, "Ha, it was definitely arson. I spoke to the fireman on duty that day." The editor had to make a decision. Which article would he print? John jumped in and added, "I've seen the specs on that building, and I've seen with my own eyes the demands for updated electrical that building manager ignored. If that was arson, I'd eat the newspaper my column was printed in." Well, that was good enough for the editor. He printed the version blaming the faulty wiring. As time went on and the investigation came to a conclusion, it was proven beyond the shadow of a doubt that it was arson. The next day, both Bill and the editor walked into John's office and threw a copy of the newspaper that wrongly called it arson. Bill said, "Are you a man of your word?" John picked up the paper and said, "I guess I'm just going to have to bite the bulletin."
Nice.
That's as good as it gets.
That's not bad.
Super long for a terrible pun.
You don't have to bite the bulletin. That's good. I liked where it was going.
All right. Well, we are running out of time. I had so many examples of biting the bullet. Magicians catching bullet in their teeth.
Nice.
That's a thing. People who've died trying to copy magicians catching bullets in their teeth.
They're doing it with... I don't think people know that the way that they do it is magic. So unless you have magic, you can't do it.
There's a couple old-timey magician types who did it legit. With like steel dentures.
This doesn't sound good.
All right, Riddlelink is a game we play. Hashtag Riddlelink, which is a 2-part trivia-based question with a 2-part overlapping answer. Okay. So,
I got one to get you going here.
Do it.
Boxing legend, young Robert De Niro races Steve McQueen in his 1968 Ford Mustang through San Francisco.
Wow, that is a lot.
Okay.
Felt like that was... Is this 4-part question?
This is a tight little one. Boxing legend, young Robert De Niro
Raging Bull
races Steve McQueen through San Francisco.
Great Escape. Nope. San Francisco. Raging
You're correct.
Bull. Bull Durham. Nope. Raging Bull.
That would have been way better.
Bullwinkle.
Take it
Raging
back.
Bull.
It was Bullet.
Oh, just Bullet. Oh.
Bullet is the Steve McQueen movie where he's in that kick butt Mustang hauling like down through
San
Francisco.
Yeah. I can picture
Bullet.
the scene. I didn't know it was called.
Lieutenant Frank Bullet.
Well, this week I got one for you, my friend Vince, that did not come from one of our Village Idiom children because nobody submitted one. So it was we need you guys to get involved. Help us out here. It's hard work over here. This is my one for you.
Yep.
It's a gorgeous small arms projectile with a soft core in a much harder shell. And I'm gonna have to pull the plug here because I just looked down at my notes and I only have the one. So we can either leave that hanging.
Well, let's leave that one for the crowd then, because
I'll repeat it, but give me yours first.
Okay. The Jungle Book's writer.
What?
The Jungle Book's writer.
Yeah, I got it. I'm glad we reference things through this episode. It helps me.
Is Gusteau's illegitimate son.
Village Idiom?
No.
Whose illegitimate son?
Gusteau. Gusteau's illegitimate son from Ratatouille.
Sorry, what was the first part again?
Jungle Book's writer.
Okay, so Rudyard Kipling
is Gusteau's illegitimate son from Ratatouille.
Oh man, I don't know the character's name.
You're.
It's the young guy.
Mm-hmm. That's him.
With the actor doing his voice.
Mm-hmm. That's him.
Who becomes a chef with a rat in his
Hackman.
Gene Hackman. What's his name?
Linguini.
So Rudyard Kiplinguini. That's a fun one. That's fun to say. Francisco. Rudyard Kiplinguini. All right. Well,
Okay,
how?
Let's send these people home with a Whopper.
Okay, I'm gonna read it again. It's
Yeah.
It's a gorgeous small arms projectile with a soft core and a much harder shell.
Man, this is gonna.
It's a gorgeous small arms projectile with a soft core and a much harder shell. I will post that wherever I can post that, so you can read it yourself. You can respond. You know what? Send us private messages. Don't give the answer away so quickly. If people stop. Send it privately, and we'll give you a shout out if you get it correctly. You can reach us at the.village.idiom on Instagram. You can find us on YouTube at the 3 Minutes Gone channel, or you can just email us, the Village Idiom Podcast at gmail.com.
That sounds awesome. I am Vince.
And I am Jurassic Mark.
And these are the Village Idioms.
That's 3 minutes gone.